Now that we're back, welcome back to some more Stormworks. I'm StormRunner Gaming, and today we open up Stormworks in a little bit of a weird place here. We are on the home screen of the game right now, and that might be a little bit weird to some of you, because if you've seen a lot of my videos where I'm showing off new creations I've just finished building and whatnot, I'm usually out by a hangar or something, usually standing next to the creation. But today I start on our snow-filled home screen because it is the holiday season around the world. So we always like to celebrate seasons here around Stormworks, and I came here just to ask a quick question before we do jump into today's episode. I'm interested to see if you guys do want to see like some sort of Stormworks holiday special. It's probably going to be based more around Christmas, you know, Christmas tree type of thing. Little silly skit here, there, and everywhere. See what I can do within Stormworks, but I'm interested to see if you guys, yes, no, whatever, leave it in those comments down below. But anyways, let's jump right into going to my brand new car I've just finished. Now that we are in the game, this is my brand new car, the SV6, and if we forgo the calendar and whatnot, we're not going to just mention it took probably over a month to actually finish this vehicle here, but just soak in those looks for a minute or two as we circle around with our cam here. Look kind of weird, doesn't it? Some people, I mean, I've gotten a couple different opinions, and some people love the design, some people hate it. It's kind of all around the spectrum on what people think about it. I mean, personally, I made it what I thought it would look cool, like that futuristic type of spaced out frame with the vehicle around here. You know, of course, this did have a couple engineering problems. The front end was extremely light, as you can tell with, you know, the elephant sitting on the front of it right now with all of those weight blocks there. But let's jump straight onto the back end of the vehicle here. I did drop a license plate on there bearing the SV6 name, and if you haven't noticed it already, it kind of looks like a pickup truck, but we've dropped that full medium engine on the back end here. Medium or aircraft engine, whatever you call it. Anyways, that is one of the 4 pockets in this car. We have 2 gas tanks around that, and the driving kind of bubble on the front end. It's got all this glass. It really does kind of look like a bubble, wouldn't you say? Anyways, yeah, we've got this with a 4-stage automatic gearbox system and a bunch of wacky designs around it. And of course, with any supercar in Stormworks, to get any sort of traction, you need that 4-wheel drive system. So of course, this is equipped with the best of the best around. Just a pretty simple 4-wheel drive system to get it down the track really fast. And there's definitely are some crazy doors opening backwards. It's more for practical purposes, but let's just say it was definitely a design. The design team thought of that, not the doors couldn't open forward because of other problems in the car. Anyways, moving forward here, with all of my cars, I do have the 1 key button start here. All you have to do is turn that engine on, and we've got a purring V8 on the back end here. Is it V8, V10, V12? We don't really know. It would actually be interesting to see how many cylinders are in each engine, but that is a story for another day. Alright, of course, in front of us we have a smorgasbord of dials, you know, your RPS, temperature, speed, fuel, battery power, and that gearbox indicator. It'll go up to 3, but it is a 4-speed car. I don't exactly know why I did that, but yeah, let's just leave it there. Anyways, we do also have that odometer. As you can tell, I have pulled it out of the hangar back there and driven it up here for this video here. You do have some backlights for all of these, lighten up that radio as well, and of course the lights around the vehicle. I tried to give it that slim look on the front end, stacking those 2 spotlights. It does look kind of weird, but I don't know. I've liked the design since I created it like that. Then it's got really skinny blinkers on either side, if I can actually show them off without blinding all of you. And the back end does have those skinny blinkers as well. And you'll notice the brake lights actually are lit up right now. It's because we do have the headlights on. When you do turn them off, those go off. They work perfectly well, lights on or off. But as you can see, when you are driving just like a regular car, they are really dim right now. But when you do hit those brakes, they get a bit brighter just to indicate for the car behind you that you are hitting your brakes. Alright, so let's turn those lights off. Of course, park, drive, reverse, whatever you want to be in, click the button and you will be going that way. I did switch to a manual battery generator on here just because it did create a lot of problems with my systems on a previous car. So basically what this means is you'll be connecting the clutch manually by clicking that button. So you just kind of have to watch your battery. 73 right now. It's not too bad of a percentage, but if it does get low, you want to run that engine with the battery generator on. And you do have to be in gear, in drive gear, reverse gear, whatever, to actually run that battery generator. But anyways, we do also have a little extra storage and one extra seat. My thinking in that extra seat is, I mean, when are you really going to have more than one person in Stormworks? Usually multiplayer, there's not that many people around, so we're going to leave the limousine design for another day and just keep it, you know, kind of practical for this. I mean, as well, keeping it to 2 seats means that it gives it that sports car type of look that, you know, qualifies it as a supercar. But, I don't know, also the seats weigh a ton, really. They're actually, I think, a couple weight blocks. What is it, 20? I might not be right on that, but I've been away for Stormworks for a couple days, so... Alright, let's get it rolling down the runway here. And at first, when you are driving this car, it is a little bit twitchy and buggy and whatnot. It's something just to kind of get used to, in a sense. You have to be kind of smooth through your movements and whatnot, or it'll be very jittery. And of course, I don't know if I talked about it earlier, but taking turns, this thing doesn't look that fast, but in reality, we're already going 100. And it really doesn't look that fast. It looks like a Sunday stroll right now. Like, cue the music. But in reality, we were doing 100 right there. Like, I don't know how mind-boggling that is. It doesn't really look that fast. I mean, I guess if we strapped a jet engine onto it, we could get it up to like 400 miles an hour. And that would look really fast, but... yeah, just take turns a little bit slower so you don't fly off the edge of any of these. And this is really meant to be more of a track car, so if you try to do much, if any, off-roading, you're probably going to run into a couple bottoming out problems. It doesn't have much lift to it. It's like one block off the ground. And when you get it really going, it kind of gets jittery. You might get a tiny bit higher, but of course you're not going to be, you know, full speed off-roading just to give it a little bit more height here. But I don't know if I've talked about it yet. As well, we have a top speed of over 155 miles an hour, I'm pretty sure. Let's see if we can get up to our top speed here without it being too jittery. As you can see, we're still spinning the wheels at 152, trying to put that power to the ground. And it doesn't look like it's its day. We're getting around 153 if we, you know, round up there with the decimal points. But, oh, now we're sliding. It boggles my mind that, I don't know, that car slides so much in Stormworks. And maybe I don't have the aerodynamics to push it forward as well as a real-life car, but I don't know. Then again, like I talked about, like the Sunday stroll there, I probably didn't realize how fast I was really going. I probably tried to take that turn at like over 100 miles an hour. And you can hear me kind of feathering that throttle off-road just so that we don't hit something big and break something here. But all around, it's a pretty good car. I mean, I did drop in an odometer for this. I did talk about it earlier, but I figured out, you know, if you do have your foot to the floor here, kind of doing some track racing, you can get at least 25 miles out of the 2 gas tanks on here. Both of the gas tanks hold just a little bit over 250 liters of fuel. Don't get me started on conversion rates because I have miles per hour and miles on the odometer, but all the fuel in the game is in liters, so that just is, it was a little bit more math, you know, converted over, but in general, I didn't really touch it that much. I was talking converting over for kind of miles per gallon type of sense, and if you've ever done any calculations within Stormworks, you'll realize how bad these vehicles are at efficiency. That's kind of sparked a brand new idea for me, and we'll stay tuned for this, of course, because as I am just, you know, driving around here for a little bit here, you know, grabbing a couple gears, flying around the racetrack, I've had an idea. I want to build just, you know, your run-of-the-mill car, you know, 4 or 5 seats, 3, like a bench on the back end and 2 on the front, like your mom and dad's sedan type of thing. but try to get it as efficient as humanly possible, which is definitely going to take a little bit more, you know, programming with the blocks and whatnot in those microcontrollers. But I'm kind of up for the challenge. I really want to see how many miles per gallon I can get with a car like that, because I set this odometer to 100,000 miles. And driving around this yesterday, the best I could do on, what am I, 500 some liters in this car? 500 plus a little bit of change. I could only get around, what is it, 40 miles out of that gas tank? Does that seem a little bit low to you guys? Only 40 miles out of 500 liters of gas. And actually, how many gallons of gas is that? Hold on, conversion rates again. Okay, my super brain and Google has helped me out a little bit, but mainly my super brain has told me that 500 liters is around 130 gallons of gas. So getting 40 miles out of 130 gallons, if we round it down to 120 gallons, which is even, you know, lessening it here, that means we're getting, what, like 0.3 miles to the gallon here? That's insanely low. So, I don't know. I'm really interested for the efficiency challenge. I mean, this car as well, although I'm losing control of it, and the back end kind of spun out on me. It's definitely meant a little bit more for racing. I did pin the engine at a max of 20 RPS, so it doesn't spin out of control, kind of. But, even so, it's not exactly set up for efficiency, so I could add a couple more gears on here, you know, make it a bit slower, change the max power down a bit to get it. Oh, I've gotten out of my driver's seat. That was, kind of stupid of me. Anyways, let's turn that off right there. What do you guys think of it? And also, what do you think of my efficiency car challenge? Of course, this vehicle, if you do want to pick it up, is available on the workshop there. I'll leave a link down below in that description if anyone does want to pick it up, play with it. Hey, if you can, you know, make the suspension a bit better, you know, balance it out a little bit so it's better at driving in general, the performance, because I've kind of maxed my knowledge out. I can get cars running pretty well, but I don't know, the performance aspects always baffle me. And it's maybe just because I'm, you know, trying to push myself too far. Like, yes, I'd like this car to go 140 around a turn, and it's just physically not possible. But I don't know. You guys can take a crack at fixing my little flaws in this car, because honest to God, I'm not perfect at creating anything in Stormworks. So, I mean, it works. It'll run all day long, and it's got all of those systems, like if the engine does cut out, when you do come to a stop, the engine will start it back up. That is a new feature because of the this thing does try to pin itself, so when it jumps to the next gear, because it only has 3 gears, the engine would go to really low RPMs or RPS, whatever the two, and the engine system that tries to keep the engine running would constantly try to restart itself when that was so. So I kind of basically told it, you're only going to try to restart the engine when the car is stopped. You know, I guess as I'm constantly building more and more cars in Stormworks, I'm adding, you know, cool little different features that do help them in the future. You know, just comfort type of things like that, so you don't hear the clicking, and that does help save a lot of battery life. Like, I would do a couple laps around the track and the battery would be dead by now. I'd quite literally be rolling into here with a dead battery. Actually, that's not exactly a very strong battery right now, but I'm pretty sure I only put one small battery in here. So that is where I am going to be ending this episode here. Of course, if you guys did like this, please leave a like and consider subscribing to the channel to stay up with Stormworks and more of my content. But I'm doing great. Goodbye. People need me, and I need to go.